My name is Henry, and my success is a direct product of Skills for Living. Life was okay up until about 18, I would say. This is the house I grew up in. I stayed here with my grandmother and my father and mom till I was about 9 years old. My father was very controlling and very demanding. Family wasn't that important to him. He had left another family before, and this was his second family. It's just the way things were. He wanted to change things a little bit, gave me an ultimatum, his way or the highway. I moved in with him for the first year. Things were okay. He didn't want me to get a job. If I wanted to work, I could only work for him. And I ended up going to school, but I was having so many problems with college. It was just too difficult for me. And then one day, he asked me for a college transcript. I knew I was in trouble then, because if I'm not going to school, basically I'm working for him, and he said I'm not going to get paid. So I had a choice. I could either work there, have no health insurance, have no money, never be able to afford my own place to stay, never be able to learn anything, or go out on my own. So I chose the highway. I took my stuff and I left. I slept in the architectural building, and I was asleep on a couch. By the end of May, I was kicked out. So it was about 3 weeks here, maybe. I was surviving off of the water fountain and chips and crackers. See, I never had anything that good. All I had was this right here. Some crackers and some chips from a snack machine like this. Tried to stay out of trouble, just tried not to be noticed. If I was noticed, I knew I would be kicked out of the building. I wouldn't have a place to stay. Yeah, I just used to wash myself up on one of the sinks over here. Just take off my shirt, wash my hands, rinse off my chest, clean. That's about all you can do over here. I left U of H and I made it to the Salvation Army. They told me I could only stay a week before having to pay $7 a day to stay there, and I didn't have any money. One of the other homeless people there told me about Covenant House Shelter. The only thing with the Covenant House Shelter was that it's for kids under 21, and my 21st birthday was in 2 weeks. I was able to get into the residency program. If you get into the residency program before you turn 21, you can stay there until the program is finished, which is a year and a half. And they rushed me through and they got me into the program a week before I turned 21. I got a job at Taco Bell. So I got my first job, and I was still applying for other jobs. I went to a temp agency and applied, and they gave me a 1-month assignment that after about 3 weeks, the supervisor said they wanted to hire me permanent because I was doing such a great job and I was a hard worker. The most diligent worker they've ever had in that position. So I got hired in, and I was permanent at $8.50 an hour. And that was really a big difference between that and making only $95 a week. After about 8 months, I was able to get out of the shelter and get my own apartment. A couple years later, I was working at a mortgage company, and 6 months ago, they announced they were laying off everybody, and they were shutting their doors. So I submitted a prayer to my church for help, and I prayed for employment. And then about 2 weeks later, I happened to saw the Skills for Living table and said, it's got to be a sign, it's got to be for me. I started attending the weekly classes, started learning about what I can do, how to improve myself. The big thing was the interview skills and the resume, and having a mentor there to correct any mistakes I was making. Without Skills for Living, I'd still be making 50 cents more than my last job. Just because I didn't know what was wrong with me. I didn't know what the problem was. I thought I was doing a good job on my resume. I thought it was great, but I just didn't have the confidence in myself. And Skills for Living helped me realize that you gotta bring yourself out, show people what you can do. And when they see that, they'll pay you what you're worth. I feel that I would have never gotten the job that I do have without Skills for Living. We all can use somebody, and Skills for Living was that somebody for me.